All right. In this session, guys, we are going to learn something related to routing of the work. Routing of the work. What does that mean? Well, in any business case, business scenario, you route the work, route the assignment, or send the task to different people or group for them to take action, right? To take action on the case, to complete that assignment that has been generated by the system for them. So routing of the assignments. Let's take talk about this basically credit card application that we are talking about. So the first thing, of course, some submission, application submission is initiated by a customer, and the customer will have to complete it. Then it will go for let's say review. Now review will be done by a bank official. Now there could be two logic. It depends on the bank, right? How the bank want to do it. Maybe they will say that which area the customer belongs to, and they will have a dedicated person for that area. So they will allocate that to a person, or it could be probably that they will have a team. They will have a credit card application review team, and they will assign it to a team. So this must be done by either an individual or a team. If it is a team, in case of a team, an individual from the team will basically complete that task. The difference is here that if you assign to an individual, that individual sees that assignment, nobody else, and the individual has to complete it. In team, in team usually we have more than one people, right? So all of those people can see, only one needs to perform. Just like if you have a common email box for a team, all of them can see the email, but only one need to reply, right? You have IT support team, you send a ticket, only one individual completes that ticket, not everyone has to do it, right? That's how it is. So in Pega, for the individual assignments, we have something called work list. Every operator, every user that you set up on Pega, that has its own work list. Just consider it a queue for that person, private to that person. Okay. So when I created my operator, I have my own work list. Someone can assign a task to this operator, and that only I will see. Only I will see. Okay. That's the work list. That's the concept of work list. For the team, if we want to talk about the team assignment, sorry. For team we have something called work basket. This is also called work queue. Same name. Technically, actually, it's work queue. Now, this is basically a queue of assignments visual or accessible to team members who have access to that team. So how do we define? I mean, we understand that work basket is something that we actually use for for a team's assignment, right? There has to be just like a support email box, right? There's a support at the rate XYZ, and a lot of people has access to that. They all work in the support team. Similarly, IT work basket or IT team, you assign basically task to them, and anyone from that team will work on that. But how do we define this structure on Pega is very important. If you For the individual, you don't have to do anything. Work list is already set up as soon as you create the operator. I mean, just assign that to operator. That's it. That's the work list. For the team, you need to first define a team in Pega. Define a team. Now the team is called work group. This is work group. In Pega, a team is called work group. This has, of course, its manager. It has a manager. It has a default work basket or work queue. Okay. So we define a team and that should have a work basket. And then you define a work basket too that you will have to attach to a define a work queue. It should also you need to define which work group this work queue belongs to. Which work group? I'm going to shorten it up a little bit. So work group is WG, work basket is WB or WQ if it is work queue. I mean same thing, same concept. These are not two different things. Work queue, work basket, same thing. So need to define which work group the work queue belongs to. It's a cyclic, you see. The work group also needs to know the work queue and work queue also needs to know the work group. So in our credit card application, let's say that the next task that is supposed to be done is approval. Okay, let's say once the user submits that form, it is going to go for review. Okay, review. And for the review, we have a team. All right, or maybe first we will just we will just do with an individual and then we will come back to the team. Okay, let's do it for the individual. So I'm going to create a new operator. I can open my own operator, which is open. I can just save as it. Let's save as. So see, against the save, you see drop arrow there. Just click on that and save as. So I'm going to create a reviewer user. Let's say that it is all the credit card application are going for review to this user. So I will say review review not reviewer reviewer one. Okay, this is first reviewer. R1 is the operator ID. Create and open. I should ideally change the name as well. That's it. So this user is going to act as a reviewer. I'm going to go back to my case and I'm going to add a process and a step in the review stage. In Pega, see, collect information is for a user assignment that we talked about, right? For user input, you need to have user assignment. There are a lot of advanced shape as well that we will learn one by one basically, which we can configure directly here. But there is one thing for approval and reviewer, Pega has out of the box flow, a different flow basically that you can embed in your process or flow as a step. So just click on add step in the review flow, add step and reviewer. It will automatically add that step in a new process. A process will be added and a step will be added. We will see that. Right. So I will rename it, let's say I will rename the process to something like CC review, credit card review, and CC review step name is also the same, let's say, or review CC application. So see, when you are adding this, it is asking you to, we will discuss about the approval type and all that. Who are you assigning it to? Username here, sorry. Route to means who do you want to, a specific user or a work queue? For the moment, we will handle it with a specific user. When you say specific user, how do you want to choose the user? We will discuss all these options, but right now, username. And I'm going to say reviewer one. This is the user who will get to review this credit card application. So this is because we are directly specifying the username. This is work list assignment. So this will be visible to that user only. Nobody else will see it. Users usually log in on this user portal. That's where they will see their work assignment and all that. Okay. So I'm going to create a new case. All right. Don't worry about the data. We don't have any validation on the data yet. So just submit it. Forget about that. Just create it. So I completed the submission. It will, the next step here is once you complete these two, it will automatically move to the next stage because there isn't anything else left in the stage one. It will go there. And the first is process and first step that it finds is review application, which is assigned to this user. So the case will be assigned to get approval. Please approve or reject this CC application. Now it is, if you click on just point here in this circle, it says it is assigned to reviewer one. Right? I am admin, so I can open this assignment for the reviewer one as well. But let's not do that. Let's log in. Let's log in with the reviewer one. I copied it, the same password. I saved as it. So whatever was the password of my operator, that's the password of this operator too. Mm, what happened? App. Sorry. Yeah, there was problem with the URL. Alright, so let me go to the Dev Studio and I will launch the user portal to see, because usually people will not have access to Dev Studio. They will have access to one of the portals. We haven't went that far basically to talk about the portals at the moment. So let's launch the portal. This is logged in as reviewer one. So this is usually what the user will see. See, reviewer one and all that. There is a work list option here. You see, my work list. That's where all the assignment to this user will be displayed. If I log in, I'm already logged in with another user. If I launch the user portal, that will not be visible to me as this user, Mahesh. Mahesh will not see that. Yes, on the Dev Studio you can see because you are admin, you are super developer. But that assignment is not here. I have other assignments which I have initiated, I haven't submitted. But this C3001 is not here in my work list. See, these are the applications that I've started but I did not submit, so these are still pending with me. So I see all the assignment to me. These assignments are not visible to the other user. The other user has not created or anything pending with him. He just has this approval thing. He can click on the go and the same case will get open here for this user.
So my work list is something that I can create for myself, not somebody.
No,
If say
right.
if I'm a lead and I want to create add something to it, I cannot write to somebody else. I cannot write.
You actually, you do not create anything in the work list. As soon as we set up user, it's automatically there. Okay, you just assign to that user. It's a kind of queue that is visible to you, privately to you.
Okay.
Okay, so see, we are in the review. This is out of the box shape that we configured. This gives that UI screen and all that. You can just put a note and approve or reject it. We will talk about approval. There are several type of approval. This is something we will cover in detail, but the topic of this session is all about how do we route to an individual, that is work list, and a work group. So work list is straightforward. You just assign, you just configure in your design, you just configure the individual user. That user can be dynamically picked up as well. Not necessarily you need to hard code it. I can basically write some logic to derive the user into some field, some property, and then I can use that property here, specify that at the runtime that value will be defined who to assign. But those are the things we will learn later. Okay. Ultimately, the work list is all about assigning to an individual user. Then there comes the second part, work basket or work queue assignment. Well, for that, you first need to define a team, and then you need to define a queue, and then associate with these two with each other. Remember, when you define a work group, you need to have a work basket already there. And when you define a work basket, then you need to have a work group already there. So this is kind of circular. So we will use something, we will define the team first, and by default during creation we will use some other work basket. Later we will define the work basket and come back here and change it. These work group and work baskets are organizational assets. So you see them in the app record explorer, you can see all the existing under the organization. See, these are the work groups, the teams. These are by default provided by Pega, and these are the work group queue, the work baskets basically, which can be used for assignment. So you also need to attach users, add users in the team, so that users means operators in the team. Then only they will be able to access that, right? We will see that. So this is clear. This is a list. Let's do it for the work basket. So I'm going to create one. You can create from here as well. Just click on the work group and create option is there, or you can just use create organization. And first we will create a work group. And the name of the work group will be, we will say reviewers work group. That's what we are naming it. Okay, just for clarity purpose, reviewer work group, or just create and open. So in the reviewers work group you need to specify manager. I will keep myself as a manager. Default work queue. See, if you try to save it, it will not let you save it without specifying a work queue, or basically the work basket. So at the moment let's just select default something. Okay, whatever Pega has by default created, right? So we will select this one. So now my work group is ready. Work group is ready. Then I should create a work basket, which is work queue. So again, organization and work queue. It's very simple. So I will say again, reviewer. This is work queue. We will name it as work basket. Work basket is more commonly used terminology, but technically it's work queue. See. All right, let's create and open.